All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome PPEs, welcome back to another school year of the PPE program. I am Teddy Owusu, the Preconception Peer Educators Coordinator, Program Coordinator, and today we will be joined by Richard Washington to discuss the PPE program, where we're moving towards, and social media. So let's begin. Everything starts really with the Advisory Council. In our Advisory Council meeting we had over the summer, we developed a program that will focus on info sharing and skills training. So these are a few of the things we'll look at. These are a few of the tools we'll use throughout the year to accomplish this goal: reporting forms, trainings, and social media. So the Advisory Council meeting, as I stated earlier, took place over the summer. We met here at Washington, D.C. We decided to focus on evaluation forms, individualized trainings, meaning we would have trainings focusing on being preconception peer educators and peer educators in general, leaders. We would also focus on implementing the program in schools and recruiting. We will use a huge tool in social media to accomplish this goal. So we were joined by many of the Advisory Council members. Actually, all of the Advisory Council members joined, and we were also joined by Marsha Dime staff and staff from AmChip. So the reporting forms. The reporting forms are important, as you all know, because it allows us to share information. It allows you to share information with us so we know what's going on. And we can also share it with other programs so that they can use that information to implement it in their programs. Successful initiatives you have created for your program can be transferred over to others so they can have success in theirs. So we have description forms for trainings and events. We also have a roster form, which I ask that each program submit before each semester. So that would be September and January of the new year. On your rosters, please also include a president, a student president, and a student vice president of your program so that they can be emailed and they could go ahead and disperse emails throughout the PPE program. We also want you to list all of the students in your program as well on the rosters, but just those two for point of contact. So I would need a faculty designated and a president, or a student president, and a student vice president. But just in general, these reporting and evaluation forms provide a lot of information on your program, and it's valuable to the whole community. Remember that our goals this year are to improve information sharing and to improve you all as preconception peer educators through skills trainings. So as I stated before, the trainings will focus on schools, students, and faculty. So whether or not you're a program that's struggling to get your school to recognize you as a club, or you're struggling to recruit students, or you can't even get the program off the ground because you can't get faculty involved, we will be able to help you. As far as the faculty goes, we have the faculty interaction, where faculty members can swap ideas for trainings. Students, they can learn how to become better leaders and effective speakers. And as I stated before, schools, how to implement the PPE program on a campus or community. This was all discussed during the Advisory Council meeting, and one of the sayings that we had in the meeting was good leaders make good programs. Well, this year we want to make better programs by making you all better leaders. So the way we're going to do that is through social media. Social media will play a big part in this. It will allow us to communicate rapidly in real time to you all, and vice versa. It's a give and take thing, and we'll get into teaching you all how to use social media effectively. But before that, let's go ahead and look at the platforms that the Preconception Peer Educators program will use. First of all, we have Facebook. Facebook will be a hub for all PPE programs. we recommend that every PPE program have a Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Preconception Peer Educators Program. You can find us and like our page and begin interacting with us. We'll post announcements on there and other information to keep you abreast of what's going on. And please spread that throughout your networks, all the information we put on there. It is recommended that all PPE programs have Facebook pages. Next, we have Twitter. Our Twitter page is also up at PPE Program. Please link with us. We'll give you a shout out. But we would like each program to also have a Twitter account so that we can chat, promote. Twitter chats are a really cool function of Twitter. It's a live conversation using a hashtag, a common hashtag that connects everybody to the conversation, and hopefully in some of our Twitter chats we'll be able to trend. We have programs all across the country, and it'll be amazing to have a Twitter chat with all of you all. The last two, LinkedIn, that would be strictly for faculty members. It goes along with the points I made before about faculty members swapping ideas for trainings. If faculty, you're stuck, you're in a dead end, you don't know what to do with the program, there certainly has been another faculty member in your position, and they'll be more than glad to help. Everybody is really into the program. There's a lot of enthusiasm, so don't be afraid to interact and ask questions and learn from each other. The last thing is Instagram. This is still under works because this will be a student-run social media account, but we're still getting the kinks out. This will be a great opportunity for students to be creative and to come up with things on their own. We want a lot of creative memes on the subject matter, infant mortality and things like that, that we know you all can provide for us. So without further ado, let me introduce everybody to Richard Washington. He is the Office of Minority Health Resource Center's Digital Marketing, Social Media, and Content Strategist. He'll give you all tips, a little bit of tips on starting a social media account and avoiding pitfalls and how to have a successful account. This is great information not only for the program, but also it's a look into how professional social media sites and accounts are run. So this takes you beyond just the PPE program. This is some information you all can use in your careers as well. So without further ado, Richard Washington, take it away.
Thank you, Teddy. Thank you all for viewing today's webinar. I just wanted to talk to you today about some of the principles behind, social media accounts and some things that you might want to have in place before you start your engagement. So the first slide is, what does your profile mean? It's your social media business card. Think of it as a series of digital networking events where you're meeting strangers and the strangers are introducing themselves to you. So you want to have a really attractive profile to make them want to learn more about you. It's also a promise to current and future followers. So this goes along the lines of digital branding. You want to make sure that your profiles represent your organization, your mission, so that there can't be any misconceptions about what you're about and who you serve. It's also an elevator pitch. You might have heard this before in regular networking. If you get an elevator, you have 2 minutes to pitch to someone about why you're great at what you do. That's also what your social media profile does. You only have a limited amount of characters or a limited time, to convince people to follow you and learn more about what you have to offer. And if you don't have certain things, your profile can either make you or can break you. A really well developed profile can really send a message to people that you are serious about engaging with them. If there are some things missing, they might not take you as seriously. So we'll go to the next slide. Profile anatomy. So these are some of the components of your profile that you want to have, organized and in place. A unique Twitter handle, Facebook page name. When you develop these, you want to be strategic about creating them and test out different iterations in case they're already taken. This happens very often in Twitter, where you might have a preferred name, but someone else has already occupied it. So you want to test out different variations that still represent your branding, just to make sure that your profile is optimized. You want to have a profile photo and a cover photo. These are also goes along with the branding portion of what I talked about earlier. So you want to make sure that these photos are relate to who and what who you serve and what you're about. Description in the case of Twitter, and an about section in the case of Facebook. This is the real meat of your profile. So it will describe 3 things about your organization or your mission. And photos and videos. I mean, social media is all about multimedia engagement. So you want to have really nice videos and photos of events that you might have attended, or any outreach activities that you have that serve the community. We'll go to the next slide. So these are the profile must-haves. You have a good quality cover and profile photos. Use a good camera. Even these days, cell phones take really sharp photos. So whatever photos you choose to put on your social media profiles, you want to make sure that they're sharp and professional looking. And again, with the branding piece, they directly relate to your organizational mission. You want to have a concise description, explaining why you should be followed or liked. The elevator pitch. You don't want to get too wordy. You don't really have that much time. In case of Twitter, you have character restrictions. So you want to get to the point about what's great about your organization and what you hope to get through your engagement with the public. URL to your website. This could be to your website or something that directly relates to you. So you want to keep people in your ecosystem. So through social media, link back to your website. Constantly refer back to your website to keep people around, keep people in the discussion. You want to have disclaimers. Some people, if you retweet them, they might think of that as a cosign. What you would like to do is you want to make sure that before anyone starts engaging with you, that just because you retweet or follow them back, that does not mean that you endorse them. So for the next slide, we will talk about the pitfalls. These are things that you would like to avoid with your profile. So inappropriate or poor quality photos. If a photo is blurry, if it's something totally that has nothing to do with anything that your mission serves or the people you serve, you definitely want to avoid those. That could kill you before you start engaging. Too formal language. Social media is really great because it's a conversational tone. People engage on social media to really get to know other companies and organizations and people better. So you want to really relate to your followers, and linking to a website that has nothing to do with your mission. That leads to confusion. You don't want to have questions posed that you can't answer, because in social media you're not in front of them, you're not in the room with them. So if there's anything about these profiles that might turn off a potential follower, you've lost them and you really wouldn't know what happened. That leads to my next slide, the 5 B's approach to social media. These are some of the things that I like to follow through our engagement here. You want to be creative. Don't be afraid to test out different types of content. Photos, infographics, videos. Don't be afraid to test out and really show your audience what you have to offer. Be open. There are things that pop up on a daily basis that you want to stay in tune with. So newsy events. If there's anything that's popped up in the newspaper, if anyone brought anything to your attention, you want to be open to that so you can make changes to your content as you go throughout. Content creation is a fluid thing. We all can go through a schedule, but it could always happen where something comes in and throws a wrench in it. Be careful. Once you post it, tweet it, or put it on Facebook, it's out there. You can delete it, but odds are a couple people have already seen it. So you want to be strategic about how you post. Don't be scared to do it, but you also just want to be careful. Be aware. Pay attention to what your followers are talking about. A lot of your content will come from feedback from them. So you definitely want to listen, to what people are discussing on social media. Social listening is key when it comes to organizational engagement. And also be human. No one wants to talk to a robot. Be yourself. The people that are running your networks are human. So you want to have conversations with your followers. Don't be afraid to really learn more about them, and it'll engender more trust from their end if you're more open with them. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Teddy.
All right, great. Thanks for the tips, Richard. So now we're going to get into, once you started your social media program, now what? So social media, one of the main thing is engagement. So what we're going to do is give you a few ways on how to engage the community once you start your social media account. So as you see on the screen, we want to make our followers feel important. They're already part of our club. We're all a part of the Preconception Peer Educators. We're all interested in making the world a better place. That connects us, but we want to make our followers feel important, feel like they're an important part of this collective club. So one of the ways to do that is empowering your followers with content. There are ways to do this. You don't want to ask for anything in return, but you want to give a lot. You want to provide them with content. You don't want to overindulge them in content, but you want to provide a steady stream of content. One of the ways to do this is to make yourself a schedule or a content calendar. A lot of the information included in this portion of the webinar will be on our website in our social media toolkit, and we'll get to that a little later. But you want to make your followers feel important with a steady stream of content, and you want to interact with your followers as well. One of the key things to do here is focus on your followers that you have already. Don't worry about recruiting followers. Your followers you have already will actually do that for you. Once you become a reliable source of information, you'll be mentioned, and their followers will be intrigued, and they'll discuss you more. The more you get mentioned, the more you're discussed, the more popular you become, and you gain more followers and influence. Another way to engage is through questions. There are certain types of questions that get more comments than others, and there are questions that vary between the platforms, and we'll get into that shortly. So we have here should, would, which, who, and the rest. You may wonder why, how, why, where don't get as many comments or don't get as much interaction as other questions, and that depends on the platform you use. Twitter, you're better off using open-ended questions, open types of questions that begin with why and how. They have variable answers. And with Facebook, you want to use closed questions that begin with should, would, which, and who. You want to try to ask as many questions as possible, because that sends it out there into the Twitter sphere or the Facebook that you want a response. So you want to keep in mind that not only do you want to ask questions, pertinent questions, beginning with why, should, would, open or closed, but you also want to address questions that you're asked. Even if you don't have the answers, you still want to address them. Maybe direct them to the Office of Minority Health or the Preconception Peer Educators Twitter. Direct them there for their answers, but you always want to address questions. As Richard said earlier, you want to be a real person, and also pay attention to your followers. Make sure you're up to date on what's going on. Don't ignore them. You don't have to answer every single person, but you want to be active on your account. Another way to engage is through the use of photos, and Richard talked about this as well. But one thing I want to delve deeper into is the use of photo albums. As you can see here, you get 53% more likes by posting a photo than just a generic comment. And you get more comments as well, as you can see. But photo albums, so if you have an event, you take many pictures, photo albums get about 180% more engagement than just photos and other avenues like questions and comments. So when you do have an event, make sure you take a bunch of photos and also tweet out that you do have a photo album on Facebook, and then post the album on Facebook and watch your engagement soar. And like I said earlier, we will have a toolkit coming up. It will be posted on our website, minorityhealth.hhs.gov. Just look for the Preconception Peer Educators page, and the toolkit will be up there. It'll have more in-depth information on starting a social media account, how to engage, and it's very simple and easy to follow along. Once you do it a few times, it'll come naturally to you. And it's very important that you do learn this, because it is the new wave. And especially for those of you who are graduating, it's a very effective way on keeping the program relevant, keeping the program going, because you're out there, more people know about you, more people are going to become interested in this program. So if you're looking around and you had about 50 PPEs your first year and now it's 15 or less and you're not sure what's going on, leave a lasting legacy. Get a social media account, pass it down to the next generation when the school year ends, and let's all make this program a lasting and effective program. Remember that we are building a community. We want to learn and share from one another, and that's our key for this whole year. It's information sharing and skills training. So along with the Twitter, once you all start your Twitter, please give a shout out to @PPE Program. Follow us. We'll follow you back. And also give us feedback. Let us know things that you want to learn about during our monthly webinars. This is your webinar. It's peer education. Things that you feel we need to address. It's not all going to be strictly information, but it's also going to be skills training. So let us know what skills you would like to learn as well or hear about as well as issues in the community. So before we close, we want to just give you a few tips when you do start your when you do start your social media account. First, you want to learn yourself, learn what you're capable of. We want both Twitter and Facebook pages, but you may not be equipped to handle both at the same time. So see which one is easier for your group to maintain, and if you can, go ahead and expand to the other platforms. Learn your audience, learn who's actually following you, who's viewing your pages, so you know how to tailor your messages. And connect with other PPE accounts. See what other people are doing. Connect with us. See what we're doing with our account. But that concludes this webinar. Again, I'm Teddy Owusu, the program coordinator. My information is on the screen. Again, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I wish everyone a successful semester and school year, and we will meet back up again here at the webinars in October. Thank you all for listening, and talk to you soon.